What's up, coach? Thank you so much for joining me inside of Simple Selling. Time is our most valuable resource, and I'm not going to waste any of yours. So, two quick things before we get started. Number one, be sure to check your email and grab the workbook. The workbook is specifically designed to help you facilitate breakthroughs while you go through this dense training. So, grab it because you'll walk away with a completed blueprint for predictable income month after month. And the second thing is, if you're watching this on the computer, grab your phone and find me on Instagram at B Simpson Fitness or at Team B Simpson Fitness. If you're watching this on the computer, press pause, come say hi, find us on the Instagram, because while this is recorded so that you can watch at your convenience, I want you to feel supported while you go through this dense training. Now, if your inclination is to press pause to bookmark this training and come back to it, then I definitely get it. You are specifically who I had in mind when I created this 60-minute training to help you leverage your time and leverage your resources and earn more and get more of your time back. I'm going to encourage you to remember that you signed up for a reason. So when you're ready, be sure to come back and be focused. So connect with me on Instagram because I'm here for you. I want to support you. I want to help you. It's my mission to help smart and struggling coaches generate consistent revenue, because the average personal trainer and other health coaches generate anywhere from $24,000 to $45,000 per year, depending on their location. Even one of my clients, who's studying to be a high-level registered dietitian, has spent thousands of dollars on her education and her internship hours. She'll top out at around $75,000 per year. And I probably don't have to tell you that there are people right now generating $40,000 to $75,000 per month, and chances are they might even be less qualified than you are. So the real question is, what have the smart and successful coaches figured out? And why is it that the success is reserved for the few while most continue to struggle? Well, you're about to find out the real reason why and what to do instead. So let's dive in. But let's go ahead and get one thing straight. Chances are you aren't new to the webinar training scene. And the good news, this isn't like any other webinar or masterclass that you may or may not have done before, because in 2022, the marketing world is changing and we're breaking it all down inside of this training today. This is not some fluff about me training where we'll do some fluffy content and you leave feeling like you just wasted your time. No, this is rubber meets the road training, and it is about the truth about building a profitable business using your content and generating consistent, predictable revenue month after month without feeling sleazy. Because the fact that you're here means that you're serious and committed about growing a profitable business the fastest, most efficient way possible. And so if you're here and you're already feeling like you don't have time to watch this, this is exactly why this training is for you. This is advanced and specifically designed to help you uncover the core components that the successful coaches have in their business that lead to healthy profit margins and healthy time off month after month without having to work harder or use sleazy sales tactics. And when you stay till the end of the training, not only will you have a completed blueprint of what it takes to get to a consistent 10K month, I will also show you a powerful, simple content formula that helps my accelerator client generate 15K in 3 days with 3 posts the very first time he presented this offer, when he just had 500 followers. And now he works 3 hours a week on this one particular program. Also, by the end of our time together, I'll show you how to automate money in your business so that you can stop trading dollar for hour and leverage your time with aligned products and services that will work best for your business so that you can earn more by working less. And the best part, I'm actually not here to teach you one way. This is not about having to do a high ticket only program. Take, for example, one of our formula clients who's now done 4 launches. And each time she launches, not only is she growing her list by hundreds of people, she's converting people into her low ticket membership and her group coaching program and generating 10K months. I'll also show you how to create clients on demand with the compelling content that attracts, connects, and converts so that you can actually stop selling and still earn more revenue without begging for clients. Be the go-to coach in your space. And the best part, this is not going to require you to just post every single day. In fact, one of our formula clients, he posts 3 times a month, and every time he posts, he gets a client. We'll also uncover the common mistakes that most struggling coaches make without even realizing and what to do instead. Plus, you'll walk away with the completed blueprint that every successful health professional has inside of their business using the simple 6S framework to help you implement the pillars of performance to generate consistent 10K months so that you too can reach maximum impact, generate more income inside of your business, whether you're just starting out or you're trying to scale your business the fastest, most effective way possible. So now will be the time to make sure you grab your workbook and let's dive in. Also, as a very special gift, when you stay till the end of the training, I'll also give you a 10-day content planner that will help you implement the components so that you can literally start generating revenue and get your next client or customer in the next 7 days. And if you're listening and sitting here watching this thinking, can I just hire someone to do this for me? Yes, of course you can. But the truth is that a great copywriter will cost you anywhere from 3K to 7K. And that's just for a couple of assets. A marketing agency, they'll cost you anywhere from 10K to 15K. And oftentimes leaving you feeling like you have no idea what to do or how to assess performance. And remember, no one will ever know your content, your programs, or your audience as well as you do. And no one ever said learning how to be more effective communicator and marketer was the biggest mistake I ever made. And if you're sitting here listening thinking, yeah, but Beverly, I don't have a big list. I don't have a huge following. I get it. That's what my accelerator client, Sean, thought. And we generated 8K in his first launch promotion with just 200 followers, 0 people on his email list. And we have tripled that following over time. And each launch has progressively grown 8K, 15K, 30K. I had another client that generated 160K in 8 months with 2,000 followers. A really good friend of mine who generated 10K in 3 simple posts using these principles. And I've actually worked with famous trainers who have had over 30K followers organically and still not generating 10K consistent months until we started to work together. So it's not about the number of followers. So by the time you finish this training, you'll discover what actually separates the smart but struggling coaches from the successful coaches who continue to quietly crush it, even with just a handful of followers. So this training is for you if you're a health and wellness professional, nutritionist, a personal trainer, or physical therapist who's waking up every morning completely frustrated because you're following that age-old advice of just post every day, and you have been posting, but your bank account is not growing. So you're left asking yourself, what should I post? Or you're wondering how much longer do you have to build know, like, and trust in order to start attracting and connecting with real clients that are interested in working with you for real instead of the freebie tire kickers. Or maybe you are maxed out at capacity with your time and client load, and it seems like the only way to make more money is to work harder, but there just aren't any more hours in the day. And you might even feel stressed about where the next client is going to come from if someone leaves because there's no way to predict income or leads. And maybe you've tried to sell your products and services using social before, and either you feel like you're bothering people because there's little to no engagement, or even they told you that it's annoying and you're not getting any sales and it takes so much work anyway. So maybe you just shouldn't even bother showing up, or at least that's how it feels. Or maybe you're brand new and you just want the fast track to actually get started and generate consistent 10K to 20K months, and wondering, where do we even start when everyone else is doing the same thing or saying the same thing? How can you even stand apart in the industry? No, I get it. I've been there myself, and so have my clients. And let me be clear. This is a powerful training, but there are no quick fixes. So If you're here to grow your social media account by 10K overnight, this training is probably not for you. This is not about learning the next best funnel, the next strategy, the next best thing. This is about learning a process and principles for your business that work. This is not about how to make money without doing any work and without being responsible. This is about working effectively and efficiently. So then the real question to consider is, well, how do you start generating big figures online? What did the successful coaches have that the smart and struggling coaches seem to consistently miss? Especially if information is so abundant and all you need to do is implement. And the same content is essentially available to everyone. Now, I recognize and honor that there are different levels of accessibility for people, which is why it seems like all the success is reserved for a few, maybe even a few who are obviously less qualified than you. What have they figured out that you haven't? Well, business is simple, but it's not always easy. People will tell you to attract people with a problem and sell them the solution, but no, we want to sell them the transformation. So what does that look like? Well, all businesses need leads and customers, and they go through a customer journey of never hearing of you before to becoming a client or a customer. People, prospects, and purchases. Well, how? In order to drive new people, turn them into prospects, and then turn them into purchasers, all successful businesses need a proven, persuasive process because it is the most effective and efficient way to both start and scale a profitable business online. Now, before I dive into how I know this and the first steps, let's just unpack the truth about the word persuasive. Persuasive is not the same as convincing and manipulating. So let me explain what I mean. So your clients already have a desired island. For example, there is a friend of mine. She is an incredible writer and teaches people how to be novelists. And it doesn't matter how persuasive, how tricky her language is. No matter what it is that she says, it does not pertain to me. I am not going to purchase that program. So what we're really doing when we're talking about persuasion is shifting perspective. So now this image is not owned by me. It is borrowed. It is used for educational purposes only. But if you're following along with me on Instagram, I'd love for you to DM me right now and tell me, which one do you see? Do you see the bunny or the duck? Do you see the woman, the young woman or the old woman? What we're doing when we are putting a persuasive process in place is that we are shifting perspectives, because the truth is that all roads lead to Rome. You can have the old woman and the young woman exist simultaneously. What we're trying to do is we're trying to move people from their beliefs and from their perspectives that are keeping them trapped and struggling, and help them see it a different way. This is what's going to turn someone who's never heard of you before into a customer. So how do I know this? My name is Beverly Simpson. I'm not going to spend too much time on this slide because you're not here for me. We're here for you. I've helped hundreds of coaches get started and scale both online and in person. And what I've noticed time and time again, despite all of the how-to content that's out there online, claiming to explain and show you how to use your content to grow this business, the vast majority of health professionals are struggling, frustrated, begging for clients, and seem to never figure it out. When I first became a personal trainer almost 10 years ago, I got up every morning. I hustled in the gym from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., day in, day out, wanting nothing more but to help people feel free from their current and common lifestyles that were making them miserable. I believed that in order to make that happen, I needed to become the smartest trainer in the building, because science is linear and would help me serve people. So I got as many certifications as I could get my hands on: NASM, CPT, CES, PES, SF, PN1, 2, SFG1, the list goes on and on. But the trouble was that it didn't matter how smart I was. I still was hustling. I still felt like I was begging. And I knew that I didn't want to spend my life in the gym. I knew I wanted to grow my family. And would this be the only life that my kids knew, the four walls of the gym? Well, it wasn't until I learned how to sell my services using an effective persuasive content process to show my prospective clients how I can use my education to serve them and how it would translate into a transformation for them. And it was then that I was able to unlock financial freedom in fitness. And I became the fastest growing personal trainer to assistant fitness manager to district fitness manager for a national company running 5 Manhattan and New Jersey gyms, hiring and developing trainers and leaders, and responsible for bringing in $2.1 million per month. I unleashed a powerful burning passion within myself to master the nuances of messaging and business building, and I went on to double my impact on the general population. I multiplied my revenue by 10 in just 1 year online, and I've helped hundreds of personal trainers do the same by helping them get better at selling their products and services, helping them build persuasive processes using the 3 pillars of performance, which we're going to break down in this training. One of my clients, she generated 4K in 6 weeks and went on to fully book her one-on-one calendar, add a wait list, and now we're working on getting to the multiple 6 figures in her business. In my years of experience, here's what I've noticed that completely separates the smart coaches from the ones who struggle, from the ones who continue to crush it. The proven persuasive process is made up of what I've now come to call the PT profit formula, which is the 3 pillars of performance: the profitable product and service, the powerful position, and the purposeful plan. Now, you might be wondering, well, what's the first thing I need to put together this persuasive system inside of your business and maximize your impact level? Well, over the years, I've noticed that the trainers who work the hardest are often the ones who end up struggling the longest. And why? It's because they operate from what I call the coach's curse, the beginner's mindset, and knowing that it depends. And there's always something more to learn. And if you're struggling, then chances are you're missing mastery in one of these pillars of performance, because your results are a direct reflection on your level of mastery. And in my years of experience and helping coaches, physical therapists, health professionals, both online and in person, we end up falling into one of these 5 types or these 5 categories. So the first thing we need to do is identify which type of coach you are. Good news, you're not the contemplating coach, because the contemplating coach has already clicked off this video. Are you the unheard coach? Maybe you're the one who might have mastered the product and the plan, but you have no position. And it feels like you're just screaming out into the echo chamber of social media. And if only people would just pay attention to what it is that you have to say, that it would make a difference, but no one's listening. Where maybe you're the influential coach, where it looks like you have an audience and you're owned by a schedule, but it's not yours. And there's no product that you're selling of yours. And so your bank account isn't growing. Or maybe you're the hustling coach, the coach who's trapped in the gym or trapped with one-on-one virtuals, and you've got incredible services. And maybe you even have an awesome position, but it still feels like you're begging. You don't know when your next client is coming from. You're hustling to get clients, and you just want to streamline your income. So we're going to spend the rest of our time together removing those roadblocks and uncovering the blind spots and providing you the exact blueprint to become the successful coach who's mastered all 3 pillars of performance to reach maximum impact. How are we going to do this? Well, I'm going to walk you through this 6S successful framework to implement the 3 pillars of performance and really break down what it takes to start and grow your business. So the first thing that we have to uncover is that right now, the biggest misconception is people will tell you, oh, you just need to niche down. You need to survey your audience. That's what the coaches will tell you to do. And I get why. The specificity in your language will be like a laser through that echo chamber on social media to reach your clients. But so many well-meaning coaches teach you to identify your niche or your focus, starting with demographics like age and gender identification. But that's just one layer. And it might even be considered superficial. A 25-year-old working woman in Ohio is probably describing and identifying her problems differently than, say, a 25-year-old woman working in New York City. So then the coaches will tell you to go out and survey your audience, hear what it is that they want, what it is that they want to hear from you. But that's like asking your kids, what do you want for dinner? And they're shouting ice cream and mac and cheese. Of course you can give them some mac and cheese, but you also know that they need vegetables and they need protein. So the first step is to actually decide what is the transformation you want to provide. Remember when I said earlier, sell them the transformation? Well, what do you want to teach all day long, every day? This is your business. This is what you're going to be teaching every day, all day. You get to serve who you want. And if your audience isn't there yet, no problem. We're going to attract them with your content. So then the next step is to go and study them in their environment. And here are a few places that you can go and observe and study your ideal client instead of serving them. Amazon, askthepublic.com, Reddit, Facebook groups. Now, don't poach, or you're not trying to steal clients in a Facebook group. Just go observe them in their environment. Because if you don't, you're running the risk of spending hours relentlessly trying to create programs for them because they said that they wanted to stay more consistent, but then no one buys your consistency program. So when you go and study them in their environment, you'll be able to start seeing what the commonalities are and how they describe and identify their problems, because that is how you'll niche down or get focused, because they will identify themselves in how you describe their problem. Now, if you're still struggling to identify who it is that you serve, I got you, because inside of PT Profit Formula, I have very powerful exercises to help you uncover who and what it is you actually want to do and who you want to serve. The next biggest mistake that we get into is people will say that they only buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And I get why. Literally every single guru shouts it from the mountaintop. Everyone buys from people that they know, like, and trust. And I get it. No one can buy from the internet's best kept secret. But is that really true? I'm willing to bet that you can look out into your space right now, whether you're looking at something you just bought to wear or you're looking in the trash. You can find one item that you've purchased without knowing who the CEO was. And if you did know who they were, does what they do on Sunday influence your buying behavior? Chances are probably not. If you've worked in the gym before, it's exactly like being handed a point of sale client from membership. They did the selling. You get to fulfill on the promise. So what we really need to do is understand the customer journey, how they actually go from never hearing of you before to becoming a client. Because it's not about know, like, and trust. It's about the ladder of believability, where they need to believe in you. So this is the know factor, right? They need to know who you are, but they need to also know that you're an authority, which comes from a decision. There's someone out there right now at your current level, whether you're starting or scaling, that needs your work. So you need to decide first that you are an authority, and then you can borrow it. Have you ever had someone recommend a client to you? Word of mouth, that's very powerful. That is borrowed belief in you. Then they need to believe in your offer. So they have to believe that the solution to their problem, to their transformation, is actually going to work. They also need to believe in themselves. This is one of the biggest things that so many struggling coaches miss, is that your client has to believe in themselves that they can do it, because chances are this is not the first time that they've tried to get healthy and fit. Then they also need to believe that they need it now, because when do people purchase? When there's an offer, an opportunity to solve the problem and or fulfill a desire. Because remember earlier, the desire is already there. We're not creating demand. We are harnessing demand. And when we remove all of the resistance, and there is an airtight argument for why the program exists and that they would be foolish not to buy, then you're going to get the client. So what does this look like? The perceived value is 10 times the asking investment of either time or money measured against the cost of not getting started. So then the $1 million question becomes, okay, Beverly, how? Well, you need to understand how people determine value. So they're assessing what is the goal. And we hear this a lot. But we're going to take this just a step further. What becomes possible for them when they get and achieve the goal, because that's their value. Then they're assessing, can I do this? What's their belief in themselves? And then they're asking themselves, how fast? Speed will win over free. There's a reason why liposuction is a $25,000, $35,000 investment rather than spending years to get healthy and fit. Speed will win over free. So when your goal, when your transformation is Mount Everest, you have to get your client excited about the first summit. What is the first win? So there are transactional quick wins that you can give them, and then the big transformation wins, because people come for content, but then they stay for community. And then they're evaluating what is their level of effort and sacrifice on their part that is required to achieve the said goal. So the $2 million questions that you can ask yourself is, how fast can you carry someone through the ladder of believability? And how fast can you close the gap between wanting your program and needing your program? So next up, the next biggest conception is that, oh, but Beverly, I don't want to be sleazy or selly, and it's too expensive. No one will buy. Yes, exactly. I get it. No one loves the sleazy car salesman who's pushing hard for the sale, or the people who slide into your DM with an amazing opportunity. And yet your clients still have a problem that they're looking to solve. And your clients are buying transformations every single day. So if they don't know that they can buy from you, then will they? No. And how many times have you downloaded something for free with the best of intentions to do it, but then you didn't get around to it? Plus, I'm willing to bet that your clients, who are always looking for the best deal or looking for the cheapest option, they're often the ones that are the hardest to manage, because when people pay, when there is an emotional investment, they pay attention. This is why you need to have an offer, a profitable product. So now we're going to get into step 2, serving. So your offer, we need to remember that selling is a service, because when people invest and there's some type of time investment or money investment, some type of emotional investment, then that's about them. They're showing up for themselves. So this is part of serving. So now one of the traps that people get into is that, oh, they're buying my time, dollar for hour. But this is why we have them set up this irresistible offer, because people aren't buying your time. You are not selling your dollar for hour. They are looking for speed. Wealth needs speed, and speed needs leverage. The leverage of your time, your resources, learning the lessons your mentors and people in the trenches with you, and also the leverage of your offer. Look at a book. A book takes a lot of time up front to create, but then it has a maximum returns as it can continue to sell without any more required work from you. So your offer is a perceived high-value product or service that gives your customer the fastest, easiest way to achieve this desired outcome. So there are 7 main components to an offer. And inside the PT Profit Formula, I give you a step-by-step process to really flesh this out so that you can hit a home run. Now, I don't want to overwhelm you. So I'm going to give you the 3 best tips that literally, if you implement these 3 today, you can start generating revenue right now. The first thing is to communicate the promise of the transformation of your program. So what does that mean? What are the tangible outcomes? If someone took a video camera and filmed the tangible outcomes, what would they see? Now, a lot of people struggle here because they think, well, I can't get my clients to eat for them. Of course, there is a line of responsibility for what your client is responsible for and what you are responsible for. So just as an exercise, I want you to get super sleazy, because the good news is no one's going to see it, just you. And please, you can definitely, this is something you can share with me inside of the DMs. So just you, just me are going to look at this, and we can always pull back. But what we really want is this to find is the specificity here in the language, because that's what's going to subconsciously connect you to your ideal client. What are the benefits? And then here's where most people start when they're putting together their program, is the process. So these are the facts and the features, right? Well, this is where rubber meets the road. How are you going to deliver on the results? I always use the dentist as my example, and people want speed, right? And so if the dentist said to me, I'm going to give you a root canal, I'm going to see you every single day, you can log in all your times, we're going to be talking nonstop, and it's $500, versus the dentist that says, hey, I can do a root canal for $5,000 and it's going to be 30 minutes and you walk out pain free, I'm going with the $5,000 offer. That's what I'm doing. So I really want you to hone in on the process. This is how you're going to get out, communicating the promise and putting together the process that allows you to maximize your leverage. This is what's going to help you get out of that dollar per hour model. This is what's going to also help you communicate and close that gap between want and need. So we need to review some of the different business model markets. Now, inside PT, I'm just going to scratch the surface inside of PT Profit Formula. And when we get into the offer building creation parts, I will help you flesh this out, because one of the traps that so many other people get into, and listen, I've gone into that myself, so I empathize and I know why this happens, is that they'll tell you it has to be one way. You have to do high ticket only, or memberships are the only way. And it's really not about the only way, because all roads lead to Rome. So I'll give you a couple of examples, right? The high volume, low investment. This is the Walmart model. This is the Disney Plus model, the Netflix model. Low investment does not mean low value, but the volume and the investment is going to have a synergistic relationship to your wealth. So if you're trying to reach 10K, that's fine. You can do that with a lower investment ebook or membership. Just recognize and get on board with the fact that you will need the volume, because the truth, the amount of effort and messaging that it takes to sell something for free, for a dollar, for $100, 10,000 and beyond, the effort is the same. It's just the level of market. It's just the market that's really different, and the experience and that you are going to have when you're fulfilling on your promise. So for example, a lot of trainers are here in the low volume, high investment. This is dollar per hour model. But when they get stuck and they reach this upper limit, it's easy to want to go here into the high volume, low investment. But you can also go here where it's higher volume and high investment. So think of this as the Ritz-Carlton experience. If you look at the functionality between Ritz-Carlton and a Super 8 motel, they actually serve the same function. It's just the perceived value and the value and experience and accessibility options that are going to be different. So it's not about doing the right, best thing. It's about figuring out what is in alignment with your values and with your business. And then we can get down to the third component. Now we're going to spend a lot of time here now. And also we go much deeper inside of PT Profit Formula, because so many people get stuck here on price, because the truth is that price is marketing. Price is the perceived value for the asking investment. So there was a study done by Antonio Rangel. He was an associate professor of economics at Caltech, where he did a blind taste test for wine, and all that was on the wine were 3 bottles with $1 sign, $2 signs, and $3 signs. And he said, which one tastes the best? And hands down, everyone voted for the $3 signs, and it went into order of taste test from most expensive to the cheapest. And they said that one tasted the best. But the truth was that it was all the same wine. So there is an inherent perceived value in the asking price. So how do you determine it? Well, the first thing, if you are trying to use price as your differentiating factor to your components, then you are pricing on commodity. That is the fastest race to the bottom. And what I see so many people do is they'll go look out into the space and they'll say, what are my colleagues, what are my competitors doing? And they'll base their pricing, they'll base their marketing and pricing business model based on what they're doing without knowing whether or not that's profitable or working. And so it's really not about what your other colleagues are doing. I operate from knowing that there is plenty for everyone. Instead, we want to price on value where there's an emotional investment. Your clients have to have something on the line. Otherwise, they will not show up for themselves. And it's not for you to determine what is expensive and what is not expensive, because that's subjective and context based. What is expensive to me is probably very different than someone who's in Africa or a third world country, and what's expensive to them is going to look very different. So it's not for us to decide what's expensive or not expensive. And just recognize that whatever price you end up picking, there's going to be an inherent perceived value within that rate. And then there'll be expectations for you to deliver on the results, because when they're emotionally invested and you've got them showing up for themselves, they're going to get results. And word of mouth is the most effective way to sell your products. And then when there's extra revenue that's left over, you can enhance the customer fulfillment experience. So now that we have this offer, the next step is to put a strategy in place. Now, how do we carry them through this ladder of believability? What is the strategy? It's your content, and your content is a combination of messaging and copy. So what are the differences between messaging and copy? Well, messaging is what you stand for. Think of it like the car. Copy is the language and the words that you use to deliver the message. And it's bonus points if you actually use the language in their brain. So think of messaging like the car, and the copy is the gasoline. So when you want to subconsciously connect with them, use the language in their brain. This will automatically put you in a position of authority. People will say, oh yes, this person gets me. He gets me. You get me. She gets me. So here's what it looks like, right? Most people look out into the space and they're like, oh, look at this awesome piece of content. And then they can't even really fully understand why they feel this way. So here's what is underneath this piece of content. First, you'll see copywriting. Now, most people will come in here and just want, I need to hire the copywriter. But copywriting without a powerful message, without the back end, it's going to fall flat. It's not going to sound like you. And messaging comes from your identity, your values, and also your clients. This is why there's so many people and why abundance is possible, because people are going to resonate differently with different people. There are 8 billion people on this planet. And so now you'll get into this biggest misconception as we start to talk about content creation is you just need to add a ton of value. Yes, of course, add value. But the trouble is most people get stuck here identifying what is really valuable and they either end up creating only how-tos and tutorials, which are awesome. They can be really powerful for likes, comments, shares, saves sometimes, but you can't take vanity metrics to the bank. Or people will only write really aggressive perspective shifting pieces that leave people feeling like they're just trying to be right or putting others down. So have you fully considered when will you know when your content is valuable? And for me and for my clients, it's when you've created the persuasive content that ends suffering, shifts perspectives, and your sales start growing. And if you're sitting here thinking, I don't have enough followers or no one likes my stuff, I get it. I know why it seems like the more people you'll reach, the more sales you'll make. But if you're chasing the audience without having the business machine built, that's like trying to fill up a colander with water. And me and my clients have reported that the content pieces that have the lowest engagement are often the highest converting, because those start the conversations, and conversions come with conversations. Because most of the content out there is just an echo chamber of tutorials and telling versus selling. So let's dive into what those differences are. Telling is teaching. Listen to me. Just put on your shoe. It's explaining. It's sharing stories. It's trying to be an authority and teach. But selling harnesses demand. It moves people to see themselves in your content. It sells, it makes a case for your perspective. It shifts perspective. It connects people in your story. And it doesn't just tell people you're an authority, it demonstrates that you're an authority. So how? What are the pieces of content that I'm talking about? Well, if you want to create a powerful position, the PT Profit Formula is going to show you how to uncover your unique processes, your unique messaging, and your unique method. And then we're going to create the 5 types of content. So here are the 5 types of content. The polarizing piece. So the polarizing piece, this is designed to shift perspective, stop the scroll, interrupt the scroll. Right? These are the ones that often get shared the most. These are the ones that have the conversations the most. And if you don't believe me, look out into the space. Look at Simon Sinek. Look at Gary Vee. They teach 0. There's literally 0 tutorials inside of their program, but they have very effective pieces that people feel like I've got a ton of value from listening to that. They're shifting perspectives. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be polarizing to be mean or to be right. That's coming from the ego. You can be polarizing. You can shift perspective and be kind. This is why I encourage people to find the courage to go against the grain, to stop trying to build know, like, and trust, because your clients need to change if they want to end suffering, right? And change means that you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And as the coach, you're going to help facilitate that breakthrough. It's going to require you to be okay sitting in uncomfortability and supporting them through that. This is what the polarizing piece can do. It can shift industry norms, things that they're used to seeing. Doesn't mean that you need to be right and put others down to do so. Then the next step is the friend, the connection content, the pieces that show you're relatable, that people want to hang out with you, and not even to be your friend, but to be supported by you, to show that, oh, this person gets it. Then the how-tos, the tutorials, right? These are important, especially for fitness people, because this is going to demonstrate that you're an authority. So give them the tutorials. But a bonus tip, if your tutorial can harness demand for working with you. Value adds, these are your teaching pieces of content, things like the nutritional differences between a sweet potato and a white potato, and the motivational pieces, the pieces designed to get people to take quick action. So a very simple, basic content formula that you can take away today is the hook. Call out the belief, tell them what they're going to do, use the language that's in their brain, because you've heard people say before, people buy on emotion. Well, you have a thought feeling loop. Get into their head to get to elicit the thought and the feeling, and then you'll be able to move them to take action, whether you're coming in through a feeling or you're coming in through the thought. There's a thought feeling loop. So come in with a hook. Then the value component is just the information that you're sharing, the perspective you're shifting. If you're shifting a perspective, you need to back it up. Use a counterexample, use a metaphor, demonstrate that it is true. Use social proof, your own experience. And then every post needs to have a call to action. If you are assuming that the taking an action is obvious, then that is a misconception. People are more likely to take an action when you ask them to. Now, sometimes in the really big thought-provoking pieces, we can't always have a really big ask. It's not about, go click the link in my bio. Sometimes they really need to sit and listen to what it is that you have to say and be okay and process what might have shifted their thinking, because you're going after beliefs, not pet peeves. There's a difference. What I want you to do is, double tap this, share with a friend, bookmark this, save this for later, send me a DM. These are all different actions that you are calling them to make. So now the obvious question is, all right, well, where do I put this content? Well, I want you to put it everywhere where your client is hanging out. For me, I usually pick one SEO, so a YouTube, a podcast, something where your content lives on, that search engine optimization, and then a social platform like Facebook and Instagram. Now, the thing with TikTok right now, so if you're watching this, I said this is 2022, TikTok is really awesome for virality. It's really awesome for getting your face out there organically. You still have an early adapter option. It's going to give you the reach. It's fun. It will help re-inspire you. So TikTok can be really powerful. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen as they start to roll out some long form content. But the truth is that you want to have conversations, and a lot of the conversations are still always going down on Instagram. So now we start to get to the next biggest misconception, which is just post every day. Well, just post every day is not a business strategy. And I get it. No one can buy from the internet's best kept secret. I know I've said it before. So I get why people tell you to just show up and post. Plus, you need to put in the reps. There is a skill acquisition, and we're going to talk about this later, but there is a need for skill acquisition, and you have to put in the reps. And yet, if just posting every day was a business strategy and it actually worked, then we would be seeing everybody celebrating their biggest revenue month to date, flying around on personal jets. And chances are you're probably not seeing that, right? So this is why inside PT Profit Formula, we teach you how to put together a very simple and effective strategy to reach and serve your ideal clients. I'm going to give you a very quick sneak peek view at the customer journey and the two launch processes, or the two business model processes that are inside PT Profit Formula. So there's the launch model, where you have a presentation of an offer with a deadline, and the evergreen model, where someone can purchase at any time. It's like the brick and mortar style, or maybe someone's going through their own personal launch. Now, again, this isn't about picking the right or the best strategy. It's about uncovering what is going to work the most effective way inside of your company. Look at places like Apple. They use this strategy both synergistically very effectively together. You could buy products all the time, but then they also launch their new stuff. So a customer journey typically, and that's not always the case, it can really happen as fast as listening to one podcast, having a DM conversation with you, and then moving them into an offer. It can happen really quickly, but typically industry standard, it takes anywhere from 30 to 60 days to build momentum from people who've never heard of you before to becoming a client. And so your content is going to move them through this journey where they've never heard of you before. They're seeing your stuff, and then they move into, you hear gurus talk about the funnel, but they move into the prospect phase where they raise their hand and they walk into your store. And then they get presented with an offer in your sales mechanism. And then they either decide that they're going to do it, or they move back to the top of the funnel and they stay hanging out with you in your ecosystem of content for anywhere from 30 to 60 days, or until they're ready to say yes to themselves. Because if they say no, it's just not yet. So how are we going to do that? Well, now we get to execute the purposeful plan. Now I'm going to move through this really fast, but just know that we go really deep inside of the PT Profit Formula and you get all of these templates, but we're going to create content buckets. I like to pick 9 to 12, and this is inspired by one of my mentors, Jasmine Star, because Instagram is my main form of connection. And so I never ask myself, what am I going to post today? Because I'm dumping out all these different types of ideas. And you'll see here, right? Those 5 types of content, I could create all 5 under one piece. So if I'm talking about carbs, I can write a polarizing piece. Cutting out carbs is keeping you from getting fit. I could do a connection piece. I'll never forget when I stopped eating bananas and carrots for an entire year, but I was crushing a bottle of wine a night and wondering why I wasn't getting fit. I can do a how-to, 3 ways to incorporate healthy carbohydrates in your breakfast, a value add, the nutritional differences between a sweet potato and a white potato. And then a motivational ad could literally be, team carbs. Those are 5 pieces of content under one pillar, under one category topic, and it spider webs out. Then we organize it. I like to do a macro cycle of content. So I literally am picking one core piece that is going to be my newsletter. It's going to be my podcast. It's going to be my YouTube, whatever it is, the SEO piece. And then I'm going to create a micro cycle of content. And I literally on Sunday, just like you would if you were meal planning, it's not about spending all day in the kitchen meal planning or meal prepping. You're just spending an hour starting to put together some different ideas of how you're going to make a case. Because remember, and this is how I'm everywhere at all times, because I just repurpose. I start with Instagram, and if I know what I'm going to post on Monday, I can just copy and paste that and post it in Facebook on Thursday. Because remember, repetition is the mother of all learning. Nobody goes to the gym, squats once, and then never squats again. And also, I want you to think, what is your favorite book right now? And if I were to ask you, what does the third sentence say on page 46? I'm willing to bet that chances are you probably don't know that. I'm reading Harry Potter to my daughters right now, and I love that book. It's one of my favorites. And I'm reviewing content that I've read those books multiple times, and I keep forgetting, oh, this was amazing. So people need to hear things multiple times. So this is a great segue to the 5th step of a successful business is skill acquisition. You need to do the reps. You need to practice, learn the strategy, identify what's going to work best for you, and then rubber meets the road. Nobody learns how to swim by reading a book on swimming. So there is literally nothing that I've shared with you here today that's theory or fluff or stuff that might work. This is exactly what I've done in my own business and what I've done for my clients in fitness, serving general population, and they're generating 10K to 50K a month. Because there are 4 phases of business growth where you design it. You design the model, what it is, make decisions and decide what it is that you want to create. And then we're going to deliver it. And we're going to deliver it, and we're going to share this offer. We're going to put it into a sales mechanism and show it to people. We're going to guess, test, and assess. Then we're going to look at the data, see how well it's doing, and then we're going to master it. So we're either going to see, oh, is this going to be do we need to scale this? Do we need to tweak this in order to then put the systems and structure in place to reach maximum impact so that you can work less and work more efficiently? I could tell you how powerful this process is, but literally, not only are my clients making 10 to 50K, I also have 3 accelerator clients, one who is a mom working part-time, generating 150K. I also have another client who is working full-time and is a full-time student, and she took her side hustle from 30K a year to 75K a year, just implementing these strategies. And another accelerator client who's generating 250K per year without a team and without ads and working less time than last year. So what are the missing ingredients that puts this all together? Well, it is the 6th and final step, which is support. Help provide the support that you need to execute the strategy and the plan. And so whether or not you learn it from me or you get support from me or from other colleagues, it's not really about me and my program. It's about you finding what you're going to need and what kind of strategy, system, and support that you need, because no $1 million business is done on its own or done in a vacuum. And I'll give you an example. So here is that final step. This is what I help my clients see and uncover to generate 15K. So we crafted this powerful offer. And then I showed him how he can build subconscious rapport with just one post. And I'm going to show you how to do it today too. So what we're going to do is there is a pain to pleasure spectrum. And that thought feeling loop, remember, you have external and internal experiences of it. Now, there are toward strategies and there are away strategies. And you need a combination of both. And this is going to come in your skill and your level of mastery in figuring out whether or not these people want toward or away strategies. And what we're looking at is you want to come in with pain, because pain oftentimes is our biggest motivator. This is when people move and actually make a change because they're in pain. And you've got the external, so the failures, they're perceived failures. And then you've got it elicits those fear and feelings. And when you can talk about that in a laser specific way, you unconsciously build rapport, because on a subconscious level, you are indicating to this client, oh, this person not only gets me, they know what to do. It puts you in a position of authority. And then you can move them into the wins, what's possible for them, so that they can get underneath what it is that they want. And now you can either start with the benefits, imagine where they're going to be a year from now and move them otherwise into the consequences. And consequences is not putting people in pain. It's just highlighting the truth about what's already there. And when you can do this over and over and over again, you will move someone into taking action now. So the main takeaway is that you need to create a proven persuasive content process inside of your business if you want to start generating and scaling revenue. The problem is that so many coaches, they're not going to teach you how to do this because either A, they don't know how to do it, or because they do it subconsciously, so they can't teach it, they do it naturally, or B, they've already made the decision that it's too advanced and that you're not going to be able to do it and handle it. So there is nothing else out there right now when it comes to creating a persuasive process to grow this profitable business to help you really master this process, because the other programs are often missing mastery in one or more of these components: the product, the position, and the plan. And they sometimes will lack the strategy that's going to work best for you, the custom component of your strategy, the systems, and having the support. And there's nothing out there right now that combines the strategy, systems, and high level of custom support for the committed high achievers. And while it might seem easier to just pass this off and hire someone to do this for you, just imagine how powerful it will be when you can do this for yourself and build out a team of loyal people that want to help you execute on your mission. Now, if you've made it this far in this training, then chances are you're serious about leaving struggle behind and ready to be successful and scale your business. So if that's you, the obvious question is, well, what's next? So I just want you to hang out with me for a few minutes, because you have a choice. You can do it the slow way, continue to do it trial and error, continue to listen to all the free podcasts, YouTubes, take some of what I've given you here throughout this process, or do it the fast way and use the PT profit formula to go from where you are now to point B with education, community, and support inside of the PT profit formula. It's the most in-depth advanced fitness business marketing program for smart coaches just like you, designed to take you by the hand and give you a simple step-by-step proven process that is custom to you to help you start and scale a highly profitable health and wellness business using your content without using sleazy sales, even if you're just starting out. Here's how it works. It's a combination of support and course material to help you build a machine implementing the 3 pillars of performance. Because can you point to one successful business that doesn't have a system and way of consistently generating leads and turning them into customers? No. This process and system will help you make sure you never have to worry about cash flow and help you stay consistent and steady month after month, starting with how to build out your proven strategic plan for results. Imagine having access to the most cutting edge strategies to effectively enhance your marketing and generate more sales month after month. No more guessing and wondering if you're creating the right post, the right content, and begging for clients. I will hand you this playbook with all the structures and processes to help you find your own influential voice to attract, connect, and convert your ideal clients without feeling like you're begging for them. Follow the process, uncover the aligned business model, do the work, and ask questions, get support, and watch the money roll in. When you enroll in the PT Profit Formula, you'll get 10 modules of curriculum that is dripped out weekly. So you have time to learn and implement. It's no secret that staying unknown keeps you unpaid because no one can buy from the internet's best kept secret, which is why I'm going to give you high level training to help you stand out in a crowded market. What if I told you that in this coaching experience, you'll create 3 times the content you put out in half the time it currently takes you and everyone else, so you can be everywhere, helping shift your ideal clients' perspectives to build natural demand for working for you. You'll receive unlimited on-demand 90-day support. You can't change what you can't see, and the support is there to help you remove roadblocks, identify blind spots, and give you in-depth coaching anytime you need it. Well, we hold weekly group coaching calls to get your questions answered and learn from each other. And why it might seem scary to share in front of others, it's one of the best gifts we can give each other. Why? Because you'll get inspired by other people's questions, help others, and get your questions answered just by listening to someone else's coaching session. This is because what is most general is often most personal. So more than one person will have similar questions. Daily support is offered in the Facebook group. You'll also get lifetime access to the PT Profit Formula because we want you to know you are joining a community. Not only will you get all of the lifetime access to the curriculum and all future program updates, even after the 90 days of community support, the educational modules and resources will be here for you forever. So here is an inside look at the 10 modules of content. The first is the 6-Figure Coach's Custom 90-Day Blueprint, the truth about goal setting, why it doesn't work. Yes, baby, I'll make it. Can you give me a second? The module 1, the 6-Figure Coach's Custom 90-Day Blueprint, the truth about goal setting, why it doesn't work and what does, how to get crystal clear on your easy to execute achievable plan that works for you. Crafting the profitable must-have now offer. Craft the single most important part of a profitable business, the offer. The clients are so excited about that they'll get results even while you're working less and still delivering a highly valuable customer experience that drives the results and keeps you paid without trading dollar for hour. And the truth, there isn't a single successful fitness coaching business that doesn't have a service or product to sell. Otherwise, how are you going to generate money? Module 3, the social media client attraction formula. Become the go-to sought after expert coach in your field and in your area, even in a seemingly saturated market space, so that your content helps attract, connect with your ideal clients and does the selling for you without spending hours on what should I post. Stand out and help you be known for something, because chances are there isn't a single person that you look up to that isn't known for something. Module 4, master the art of selling without selling. I'm going to give you high level messaging components to help you build subconscious rapport and master the psychology of sales in your content so that you can actually stop selling, start serving, and still generate revenue. When you get this, your content will do 70% of the selling for you. In module 5, I'll show you how to fully understand how to craft an ethical messaging ecosystem so that you can carry a customer through a persuasive content experience and help people who've never heard of you before become a client faster. In module 6, we'll set up your business engine, set up and execute the systems with specific performance indicators, and leverage your time by setting up key processes in all stages of the customer experience. This module is all about essential messaging elements on simplified tech. So even if you feel technologically challenged, you can still do it. Module 7 is where we will fill your business engine with qualified leads. We'll decide how you're going to position your offering, craft the messaging that cultivates the demand for your offer without being pushy, sleazy, or begging. Start to enroll people into your programs in a simple and effective way possible. In Module 8, I'll give you advanced subconscious rapport building, high-level messaging components that connect on a subconscious level and close the gap between clients wanting your products to needing your products. Module 9 is learning how to assess and improve the performance of the business machine, because it's not over till you say it's over, which means that there's always revenue on the table. Review the upsell and the downsell options to enhance the business ascension model, reach more people, and generate more revenue. How much will change in your business when you have the best system set up and process and team to help you amplify your message, which is exactly what we're doing in Module 10, so that you have all the structures in place to scale and reach maximum impact. And as a special bonus, I'm including paid strategies inside the program for Facebook and Instagram. The best news, you'll have lifetime access to this course. So as it grows and evolves to be current and updated with the time, you'll also get access to it. So if you're like us, the smart and successful coaches, and you are ready to finally unlock 6- and 7-figure businesses, and you're the type of person who sees opportunity instead of problems, feels fear and does it anyway, and instead of letting fear hold you back, then I'll be there on the other side of the PT profit formula, and I will simply hand you the step-by-step system and process to help you grind less and work more efficiently and earn more. And if you already know that you want more support, there is an accelerated process, which is the 12-month group coaching mastermind intensive. Now, why is it 12 months? Well, you ever heard the phrase Rome wasn't built in a day? Well, the same is true with building your online business. And I could tell you how to lose 100 pounds in an hour, but that doesn't mean you're going to lose 100 pounds in an hour. The truth is, we don't want you to be successful in the short term. We want you to be successful for the long haul. So this doesn't mean your business is going to take 12 months. The process is designed to be built and executed within 90 days. But for 12 months, we're there day in, day out, addressing problems, challenges that pop up along the way, because no matter what level you're at, there will always be challenges, and you do not have to face them alone. So in addition to getting everything from PT Profit Formula, you get live events, bi-monthly Facebook ad support, and group coaching calls, and monthly one-on-ones with me. Plus, for Accelerator, you get over 20 hours of high-level guest vault trainings to experts from both the science and marketing. So this isn't just some gimmicky, learn the new funnel, learn this new social media platform. It's the exact blueprint for marketing and messaging fundamentals that transcends. It's exactly what we've done for my business and also my clients. And if you're still here, there's a reason why, because chances are what you're doing is not working. And do you really want to continue down the path of struggle when you can have all the revenue and freedom that you want now? Because if that's you, I can't wait to work with you to help you step into clarity and confidence for good. So how much is the investment? Well, when you invest in the system, we want you to look at it exactly that, an investment, your sanity, business, wealth, and the well-being of your family. So if you were to hire me and my team, this would cost you at least $15K. But over the years, I've seen smart, struggling coaches struggle with getting the products and services out in front of their clients. So we want to make this accessible to as many people as possible. So how much is it for you today? Well, it's definitely not 15K. It's not even 5K. You'll get instant access to the entire system for 12 monthly payments of $198, or you can save when you pay in full. Plus, I have more killer bonuses that are designed for the fast acting clients, the ones who are the early decision makers, in order to add 2K to your bottom line, guaranteed. So to make this decision as easy as possible for you today, when you join, I'm also giving you a full-fledged mini course called Booked and Banging. Go from overlooked to fully booked with your one-on-one clients. I'll show you how to generate your next 100 leads with another course called Build Your Email List, plus 17 ways to generate 2K in 7 days. And as a very special bonus, there is a live training in March, in addition to our support calls, that will help you get your personal questions answered on how you can close a high ticket sales call or sales DM. Plus, your success is inevitable. I'm so certain that everything you need to generate revenue and be successful is inside of this course. I'm willing to take on all the risk. We guarantee 100% satisfaction. So if you go through the program and it's still not for you, you can get a refund as long as you watch all the trainings, complete the worksheets, submit them, build your machine in 30 days, attend 80% of the calls, Ask for help and implement it. And in the remaining 60 days, and still after 90 days, you are unhappy, we will refund it. So imagine how many lives you'll be able to change and help when you put this system in place. Get your product in front of the right audience at the right time and do it today. Because if you put this off, what will change? Do you really want to continue down the path you're currently on and continue to feel like you're struggling when there's a better way, when we can take this proven system and become a success? So if you're on the fence for any reason at all, or you have any questions, now is the time to take the next step. Connect with us in the DMs, either at B Simpson Fitness or at Team B Simpson Fitness. So it's time now to decide. And let me ask you, where do you want to be a year from now? Thank you so much for joining me inside of the training today. Go ahead. There's a button around this video. Now you can click to download your 10-day content calendar, and it will literally walk you through how to implement the process we just uncovered, and you can start generating revenue today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I look forward to connecting with you. I'll catch you on the next training.